Welcome back to Storytime with Mr. Jackson. This ain't just a reaction, this is an eye opener. Before we hit play, let's break it all down together so we don't have to keep stopping. From the dark origin of the Tooth Fairy to the hidden histories of Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and even how Coca-Cola transformed Christmas. This one goes deep. We're diving into real stories, lost history, and truth most people ignore. What do you really know about the holidays we celebrate? Watch closely, take notes, then scroll down, and let's talk about it.
What's up, YouTube? Right now you're hanging with Mr. Jackson. As you can see in the background, we're gonna do a reaction to this, man. We really ain't gonna say too much, y'all. We just gonna let it play out. Just like I said at the end, let me know in the comments what you think, y'all. And after that, y'all just get into this, y'all. I saw some of this, y'all. I saw some of it. I ain't saw all of them. I saw some of them, y'all. But these, it's a conspiracy with these. How we live it. We live in a demon world. But enough of that, y'all. Let's get into it.
The real-life Tooth Fairy was actually very creepy. During the late 1800s in Boomerville, Louisiana, an older lady named Charity Case worked as a street merchant and she would sell custom jewelry for a living. But in September of 1889, when local reports started coming out about people waking up with almost all their teeth missing, the community became frightened. The police warned everyone to lock their doors at night and be aware of their surroundings. By the year's end, almost 300 people became victim of what the local people started to call the evil Tooth Fairy. On the night of January 3rd, 1890, a man named Ethan Cornfoot, a local tax collector, woke up one night in a daze. But he quickly noticed a silhouette of a woman at the end of his room. But before he could react, she was already in his face and she said, "Next time, remember to lock your window, honey bun." He woke up the next morning missing almost half his teeth and became just another victim. Months would go by, and Ethan wanted to surprise his new girlfriend with a gift. So he went down to the local merchant shops to look around for some jewelry when he came across a stand with an old lady. He then bought a strange-looking necklace from her, and when he was walking away, she said, "Thanks, honey bun." On the way home, everything clicked, and he realized that was the notorious Tooth Fairy. When he came back with officers, she was gone. But there was a note that said, "Remember, kids, don't forget to floss."
Can we talk about the dark history of Easter?
Yo.
You gotta make sure you check outside.
All right, y'all, we on Easter.
Sorry
now.
to say that Easter has nothing to do with Jesus. Many aspects of traditional Christianity, holidays, practices, doctrines, the bunnies, the eggs, springtime, came not from Christ or the Bible but came from pagan religion. Easter Sunday is a Babylonian pagan holiday, which idolizes the fertility goddess Ishtar. Worshipping Ishtar was intended to ask for her blessing of fertility on the crops and everything else. On the first Sunday after the full moon, they would celebrate by baking cakes, getting drunk, and committing other heinous crimes. Women were required to celebrate the conception by laying down at the temple of Ishtar and having relations with anybody who walks in. There is a very, very dark history on why they color eggs. Babies were sacrificed, and the blood of the infants were dipped in the eggs for Ishtar. Want to know the reason there's a bunny rabbit? Rabbits can bear several litters of young each year, meaning they have high fertility. Decorating eggs seems harmless until you consider the origins of it. None of this had to do with Christianity. The bunnies and the eggs are not as simple as they seem, and this holiday is not holy. Y'all be safe.
Whenever I say the devil's holiday, this is what I mean. Witches, warlocks, Satanists utilize Halloween as their new year.
Dang.
When you research what Halloween is for that side, for them, the kingdom of darkness, it's their new year. When you look at John Ramirez's testimony, he used to be a powerful warlock for years, got married on Halloween, had a blood sacrifices on Halloween. Listen to his testimony. Jenny Weaver used to be a witch, a high-ranking practicing witch, did a lot of things on Halloween. Why Halloween? Because they believe the veil between the spirit realm and the physical realm is thin. And then they also wait for the full moon to occur on the month of October. So not only is the spiritual realm and the physical realm thinned, they wait for the full moon to take place because witches and warlocks believe that when the full moon is showing and shining, it gives their spells, it gives their sacrifices more power. And they believe that. And so we now they don't only believe it, there is a understanding to the dark side of that stuff, right? There's a realness to that stuff. I'm not about to be one of those Christians just say everything don't work except for God. That's not the case at all.
No.
Exactly. You're trespassing, meaning you're entering into the spiritual realm without permission or the wrong way. You're those people that are hopping over the pen rather than going through the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Jesus was taught. He said, I'm the door, right? If you're not going through the door, you're entering the wrong way.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to enter that way. So exactly. So they're doing all of these things and celebrating their new year. You don't see witches and warlock coming to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. You don't. They may celebrate our regular New Year. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming to Good Friday. They're not coming to Resurrection Sunday, unless they have an assignment in your church. You know what I'm saying? But even then, they should be exposed. Even then, they should be rebuked, corrected, and delivered. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And partake in that. And so it's something that it makes me a little upset that those that call themselves Christians don't act like Christians. Those that now imagine this. All right, you call yourself Christian. Christian means Christ-like, to be like Christ, right? To be like Christ. So let's take yourself outside of your own understanding and let's put you in a scenario. If Jesus was here in 2024 in the flesh, he's here regardless, but if he was here in the flesh the same way he was whenever he was on the cross, the same way he was before the cross, if he was here in the flesh, do you think he would be dressing up for Halloween, or do you think that he would be going in to those places of darkness, casting out demons, delivering and healing people, and preaching the gospel and bringing light to every dark place?
Casting them out.
I'm talking to the churches that want to celebrate trunk or treat. The trick is still on you. The joke's still on the joke's still on you. The joke's still on you. You're still celebrating. You're still advocating for the kingdom of darkness, agreeing with kids changing their identity to come and get candy and treats and stuff like that. And what you're doing is, this goes back to what we talked about. The Bible, that Jesus said it's better for a millstone to be tied around your neck and you be thrown into the sea than for you to make one of these little ones stumble and fall.
Ooh.
So you're advocating for the kingdom of darkness, passing on the tradition of a demonic holiday and disguising it as okay because you're holding trunk or treat at a church. He said, if you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out of my mouth.
The picture that has been painted about Thanksgiving is far from the truth. You see, in the history books, they say that in 1621, the first Thanksgiving feast was had, and that the Native Americans welcomed the Europeans onto their land and they all celebrated on this day. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. You see, some believe that in 1621, it was the first encounter between the Europeans and the Native Americans. That is also absolutely not true. Years and years before that, the Native Americans had encounters with the Europeans. You see, the Europeans enslaved the Native Americans, killed them, stole their land, and spread diseases to their tribes. So when the Mayflower ship arrived in Plymouth, Massachusetts, the diseases that the Europeans had brought over to America had already killed most of the Native Americans. And the tribe that had the encounter with the Mayflower and the tribe that had the feast with the Europeans is called the Wampanoag. See, prior to 1621, 6 years before that, there was a Native American man who got kidnapped and enslaved and was taken to Spain. He managed to escape and went to England, where he learned how to speak English and learn about Europeans, and then migrated back to his land just to find out that his tribe had died from diseases. So then he joined the Wampanoag tribe, where he became the translator and mediator between the Europeans and the Native Americans. 75% of the Wampanoag's tribe had already died due to diseases that the Europeans had brought over, and they had an enemy tribe who was still thriving. So because of that, they went to the Pilgrims and made a pact, made a deal out of survival, that they would protect the Pilgrims from their rivals if they helped them against the Wampanoag's rivals. The Native Americans were not trusting of the Europeans, but they did this out of necessity to survive. And in 1621, the Pilgrims celebrated the first successful harvest they had, which the Native American people taught them how to do. And they celebrated by shooting guns into the air, and it was a 3-day celebration where they fasted and prayed. And because the Native Americans heard these gunshots, they got ready and marched to where the Pilgrims were because they thought they were about to have a war, when in fact the Europeans were just having a celebration. And that's how they came together for the first Thanksgiving. The Native Americans were not invited to that celebration. So they had the feast, and that would become the first Thanksgiving feast. You see, the massacre of the Native Americans did not stop. It continued, as we all know now, before the first Thanksgiving and after the first Thanksgiving. The Europeans stole Native American land, killed the Native American people, enslaved the Native American people, and continued to do it. You see, Thanksgiving became an official holiday in 1863 made by Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War in order to bring together northern and southern states, and also the U.S. and tribal nations. And just a year before that, there was a mass execution of Dakota tribal members. You see, corrupt federal agents kept the Dakota Sioux from receiving food and their provisions. And at the brink of starvation, the tribe decided to fight back, resulting in the Dakota War of 1862. So in 1863 was when Abraham Lincoln decided to establish Thanksgiving as a way to make peace between Native Americans and the federal government. So what I'm telling you right now is just, it's just a drop in a bucket. So go do your research and just get informed of this holiday. For most Native Americans, Thanksgiving is a day for mourning of their ancestors and all the horrible things they experienced. How can you as a non-native support? It's easy. Spread the truth, support Native American businesses, and uplift indigenous culture in America. See, I'm not a historian. I'm just a music artist who happens to be an indigenous man. Each one teach one. Let's get educated. It's your man's Win Whisper.
125 years ago, they noticed something. People bought Coca-Cola in the summer, not in the winter. People didn't think of it as a winter drink. So the Coca-Cola advertisers were like, what if we somehow worked Coca-Cola into Christmas? So what the Coca-Cola advertisers did was they found a saint, Santa Claus. They grabbed him, they merged him with the story of Saint Nick, and then somebody got inspired. And the inspiration was to merge him with Kris Kringle. Kris Kringle was a Danish thief whose job in the day was a chimney sweep. And they merged this together. They stuck them in Coca-Cola colors, red and white, and then they stuck them on the bottle. That's why periodically you'll see Santa Claus on a Coca-Cola can. And they transformed Christmas, where all of a sudden this mythical being who drinks a lot of Coca-Cola is bringing you presents. And in the process now, the average Christian in the United States at least thinks Christmas is the important Christian holiday because a Coca-Cola advertiser is trying to get you to drink more Coca-Cola.
Questions for you. Comment below. Were you taught any of this growing up? Do you still celebrate these holidays the same way after hearing this? What's your take on Christianity and culture clashing like this? How do you feel about how history is presented in school? Did anything in this video change your perspective? If this video made you think, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the truth being told on this channel. Let's keep it real, keep it respectful, and keep learning.
Yo, that is crazy. And that's the short version too, y'all. I saw the long version of it, yo. When he was talking about what's going on, yo, how he's deform his shoulders to come down the chimney. It's still your Christmas present. So I don't know where they got the Grinch from, because he was really the Grinch. He was really the Grinch, y'all. He's just steal people Christmas presents, y'all. But yo, this jump was crazy, man. Well, I saw all this stuff, man. I've been seeing stuff like this, man. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a reaction, but I'm glad I did it, y'all, because I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm glad I did, y'all. And let y'all know, y'all, these holidays, y'all. It got a lot of demon stuff in these holidays, man. It's a conspiracy, man. Like, I don't know, yo. I don't know if it's earth or hell. But let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, yo. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace. I'm out.